Let's start. So, Sebastian, tell me about yourself, your name, where are you from, where do you live?
Me llamo Sebastián.
Okay, so we can do it in
Soy un
Spanish.
informático.
It was a surprise for me.
I won't make it an illusion a long time. So.
Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Estoy aquí con Sebastián. I'm going to turn to English, no worries, no it's just introduction. Bueno, estos son unos nuevos videos que quiero hacer que son entrevistas a nómadas digitales. Como estoy ahorita en Seúl, en Corea del Sur, con viajeros y nómadas digitales de todo el mundo, no los puedo hacer en castellano porque de hecho creo que no hay nadie que tenga el castellano como idioma nativo, pero los vamos a hacer en inglés y espero que puedan tener traducción y si no, practican en inglés. Pero estoy segura que van a ser de mucha utilidad para ustedes. Como saben, trato yo de contarles cómo es mi vida como nómada digital. Igual lo que quiero es que cuenten, o sea, que sepan otras historias de otros perfiles totalmente diferentes. A veces la gente me dice, ay, pero no soy blogger de viajes, ¿puedo ir viajando? Por supuesto que sí. Aquí somos 20 personas, soy la única blogger de viajes, soy la única consultora de marketing, así que hay miles de opciones para poder hacerlo. So now we just turn to English. What I was saying is like this is one of my first interviews that I want to do to all my colleagues here in Hacker Paradise Trips. We are now in Seoul in South Korea. As you know, I speak Spanish, so please forgive me, my English is not the best. We're just trying to do this like a cool stuff in here, trying to interview all my friends in here. So what I want to show you is like you don't have to be a travel blogger to travel around the world and earn money. There's a lot of options. So here we have Sebastian. He's going to introduce himself and answer some questions that we have. So you can meet more new profiles and new ways to travel the world and earn money. And of course, working on different stuff. So let's start. So Sebastian, tell me about yourself, your name, where are you from, where do you live?
Me llamo Sebastián.
Okay, so we can do it in
Soy un
Spanish.
informático.
It was a surprise for me.
I won't make it an illusion a long time. So. No, so my name is Sebastian Begest. I'm 36 years old. I'm French, even though I've been living in Belgium for the past 13 years. And I'm originally a software developer, but lately I've been also developing an activity as an online trainer, mostly technical subjects, mostly computer science related, and more specifically related to the blockchain.
Okay, cool. I know a little about blockchain, but it's like this enigmatic word that I don't know yet. I even have bitcoins and everything, but I don't know if I'm doing well. But yeah, you are the master about all these topics. So tell me, I know that now you're a digital nomad because you're traveling around the world and also working online, but you have been working remotely for more time. So for how long have you been working remotely?
I mean, I've been a freelance for 6 years now, but mostly working full-time for certain customers and on-site, so in offices and so on. But I really started to change my lifestyle probably 6 months ago when I finished my last contract like that in office full-time. And from then on, the goal was, from the beginning, the goal was to work remotely and use this opportunity to travel as well. So I started doing a little bit of traveling in Switzerland at the beginning of the year, and then I started really joining HP in June, first in Japan and now in South Korea.
Awesome. Do you miss your like 9 to 5 life?
Oh, no. No, I definitely was not particularly happy in my 9 to 5, even though
or
I was
9 to
doing
7
it,
or 9 to 8
yeah,
sometimes.
that's the thing. But even though I'm really passionate about my job as a software developer and now as a trainer, and even though I try to work in teams with people that I love, but sometimes, yeah, the constraints of the office and always being in the same place can be a little bit boring and frustrating. So I'm really happy now that I'm able to work like that and discover new people, discover new places, confront new perspectives on the world and on the work that I do. All of that kind of enriches my experience as well. and completely changes the way I do things.
Awesome, awesome. My question is super, I mean, it's super similar about what you were answering. How is a regular day as a digital nomad now that you have been traveling around Japan, now South Korea? You also told me that you would like to go to South Africa. So how is a regular day when you wake up? What do you do during the day?
Well, definitely one of the things that changes compared to my former lifestyle, I would say, is trying to figure out how to do the most simple things in life, like buying breakfast or just finding, I don't know, band-aids because you hurt yourself, stuff like that. Especially in countries like South Korea or Japan, where obviously I don't speak the language, so it's really hard. And especially in countries like that where very few people even speak English. So that's definitely something that's become a significant part of my life that was not before. Apart from that, I mean, working from abroad is not significantly different from working from home or from any co-working space in your homeland. It's mostly defining your own schedule, of course, deciding on what you need to work on, and then trying to maintain a balance. That's the part that's probably different. Trying to maintain a balance between the work that you need to do to pay the bills, but also because that's your main mission in life, I would say. And at the same time, leveraging this opportunity, you have to be in a different country, trying to visit, trying to understand the culture, spending some time with locals, and so on and so forth. So, trying to balance this time between those two things is also a challenge.
Cool, cool. It sounds amazing because it looks like the life that I have right now, and it's like trying to balance what you're doing because I mean, we were talking before, it's like I'm not a morning person. I really suffer when I have to wake up early, but I know that I can work a lot during night, so it's trying to find the balance. You told me as well that I mean, you left, you quit your job, and then you were in Switzerland in a co-living. So have you, I know you have been in a co-living, he can explain more about what a co-living is and how it works. You are now like in this trip with a lot of people from different places of the world that is Hacker Paradise. Have you been traveling by yourself as a digital nomad as well?
Not yet, not yet. The thing is, so co-living spaces are these kind of evolution of co-working spaces where you have the work part and the living part as well, meaning you have accommodations that go with the co-working space. And they are developing because of this digital nomad trend that's growing in more and more places in the world, and especially in the places that are more popular with the digital nomad community. So Southeast Asia, like Bali and Chiang Mai and stuff like that, California, Costa Rica, and other places. But yeah, and I've mostly traveled in those locations because when you go to a place that you don't know at all, like it's the case for me, like South Korea, it was my first time here, Japan, same thing, it can be kind of daunting to arrive in a place you don't know and not even know where it's safe to stay, where it's actually interesting to stay, because I mean, like South Korea, it's going to be 6 weeks. I don't want to spend 4 of those 6 weeks finding the right place and moving
Even before that, trying to see where to live, where to go, trying to make new friends. Now you have your friends like just like that.
Exactly. So this kind of offering that is kind of more packaged makes more sense because other people do the scouting for you. They arrange stuff. They make it easier. So basically, here with Hacker Paradise, we arrived at the airport. Somebody was here to guide us towards our destination, and then gave us SIM cards, explained to us how the subway system works, and all that. And this is not the things that you have to figure out by yourself. So that's time that you have to figure out other things. So it really makes a lot of sense. And the same for co-living spaces. I mean, when you don't have to actually find a location that's practical, close to the place where you need to work and all of that, then it gives you more time to explore the place and to do all the things that we discussed before. So.
Yeah, perfect. It sounds amazing. So we were also talking before about which city we would like to live for a while, because it's different just going as a tourist, maybe 3 days to the Caribe or to Machu Picchu maybe, but What reasons or which factors do you find important, at least for you, to settle down at least for some months or for a while in a country or a city?
Um, I would say now that I've been living in Asia for the past 2 months.
No more noodles, no more kimchi.
No, the food is okay. I mean, it's something that I actually discovered that I didn't know about myself before coming here. Homeland, I mean, back home, always, I always tended to eat the same kind of things. And ever since I started traveling with HP and even before, I started exploring more foods types. So I'm okay with that. But it's more like the language is more of a challenge than I thought.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, I thought that Japan or even South Korea spoke more English.
I thought the same.
So even if you have to learn a little bit of it just to make it easier, if at least you can always fall back to English, it's a good thing. And here, I mean, in South Korea it's a little bit easier, but in Japan it was really a pain. Like it was really hard in that regard. So from now on, I think I'm gonna have a closer look at that, like
Or
trying to
French,
understand.
or English, or Spanish, that I see that you can speak Spanish.
Spanish I can at least understand.
Okay.
So I cannot speak it a lot because I lost most of the vocabulary, but I can understand. And in general, like every Asian language, like Thai or stuff like that, I know that it's gonna be hard. So if I can at least fall back to English from time to time, it's kind of reassuring. But more, I mean, discovering different things, different perspectives, different cultures, and so on is definitely important. So I'm not particularly interested in traveling in other countries in Europe, for example, because I've been to a lot of them
So the
already.
same.
It's
Almost.
mostly similar. So like North America, even South America, Asia. I'm dying to go to Australia and New Zealand to see those countries as well. Anything that's more different from what I know is what I'm looking for, because I want to discover. I want to expand my horizons. Basically, that's the
Yeah.
goal of traveling for me. So that's going to be an important aspect, and for me, safety is really important. So
Yeah,
I
for
don't
sure.
I don't want to put myself. I'm not I don't know how to say it, like the kind of backpacker that would go put himself in really dangerous situations in the remote places in India and stuff like that. I'm not that kind
We're
of guy.
not 20 anymore.
No, but even then, I mean, I know guys of my age that really like this kind of adventure with just a t-shirt, some shorts, and a hat, and they're good to go.
Exactly.
I'm not that kind of guy. I'm more looking at places where I can discover cultures, but at the same time feel safe
Yeah, super important.
and continue to not feel like my life is threatened, basically.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. For me, safety is super important. Being from Latin America, that even if I think nothing happened to me actually when I've been like robbed, it has been in Europe, not in Latin America. The day to day, you don't feel comfortable. You don't. For example, we were like having lunch today, and we had our cell phones just on our table. We went to have some food, then we came back, and everything is there. Something that maybe, I mean, in Paris, I felt super unsafe in Paris.
Oh, I can understand that.
Or in Latin America, you're not able to let your computer or your cell phone there. So if now we can choose where we can live, I think it's amazing. Do you have any advice, maybe in your profile? Because I always talk about bloggers or marketers, anything. If there's like a software developer that would like to travel, but he doesn't know how to find a job, like remotely, or what to do you have any advice? Do you have any advice for them?
Probably the biggest one I have, and based on my experience over the past few months, is don't fuss too much about the fact that you want to work remotely. Just put yourself in a situation where if they want you to work in an office, you say no. But if they want you, for example, if they're fine with you working from home, they don't need to know where you work from.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter to them.
Well,
so
you
long
have
as
to
you're,
wake up 5 a.m. or midnight. That's what
so long as you're
with
ready to be flexible,
yeah,
and adapt to their time zone and adapt to their schedule, that's fine. So for me, I started working. The two customers that I'm working with right now, I started working with them from Belgium. And they didn't know that I intended to go abroad. To be honest, I didn't even know myself. And I just decided, okay, this goes well. The work relationship is fine. They trust me, I trust them. So from now on, if I work from elsewhere, even though I may need to adapt my time schedule to fit theirs. It's fine. So yeah, if you go straight on saying to your customer, I'm gonna go work abroad and it's gonna be hard to reach me. Yeah, of course they will say no. That's not the best way to do it. So I think you can perfectly establish like a trust relationship with a customer, especially if you're a freelance. Of course, that's the point. That's easier. Now, if you have to stay to remain as an employee for working for a company, I know that it can be harder. But again, you can totally do that sort of things, travel and adapt your schedule.
Yeah, we do have friends here that work like 8 hours daily, like in an office.
It's definitely not a must to be a freelance. Like half of the group in Hacker Paradise right now is an employee in a company. So they just adapt themselves, and some of them work until we have guys who work with companies in the US. So they have to wake up during the night for meetings and so on. But that's fine. I mean, they can just explore on a different timetable and see a different part of the culture even.
Totally, yeah.
So it works. Yeah. It's not a must, and then you can always adapt. The one thing you have to change probably compared to a normal lifestyle is your relationship with certainty. What I mean by that is that for the first few weeks of traveling full time, it was kind of hard to let go. I had always this voice in my head telling me, okay, if your customers drops you because you're unavailable or something like that, either you have to go back or you're gonna lose everything, all the resources and so on. And I learned to, let go of that and think, okay, maybe they will drop me, but I have other options, other possibilities. And I learned also to develop my opportunities and my pipelines to kind of have plan Bs and plan Cs and plan Ds and all sorts of backup plans.
Even in this trip, we have more engineers or developers, software engineers and anything, so maybe you can even get a new project here, so you don't have to be worried. At least, for example, now I'm working in a really big project, then also my blog, and then a couple of small clients as well. Okay, maybe if you lose the big company, then you have a time that you can work in another project to try to find. You have a lot of websites, if you have a good network, you can get a job. And now there's a lot of people. I mean, just here we are 20. There's another group of Hacker Paradise now also in Mexico. So there's a lot of opportunity to get a job. So don't get scared. We are doing it. We're waking up super early. We are going to sleep super late. But I think it's totally worth it. Is it worth it for you?
Exactly, and again, that's one of the good things about something like Hacker Paradise, that it creates a network, and even beyond that, the whole community of digital nomads is incredibly connected. So there are people like here who are participating in HP, but they participated in other groups before, and they can see how people tend to find each other again at completely opposite parts of the world and continue to network and develop opportunities.
Now the world is super small because of internet and everything. Well, Sebastian, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much. I think it's super good trying to see. I mean, our lives are kind of similar, even if you have like another profession and anything. So I think it helped you a lot. Espero que les haya gustado muchísimo. Vamos a tener más invitados, más nómadas digitales. Así que nada, estén conectados. Recuerden que si no lo han hecho todavía, se suscriban al canal de YouTube. También hagan clic en la campanita para que les lleguen todas las notificaciones de los nuevos videos que hagamos, que ahora van a venir un montón. Y bueno, si todavía, que espero que por favor sí lo hagan, pero no me siguen en las redes sociales, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, estoy en todo lado. Así que los veo por ahí. Gracias.
Muchas gracias.